You're listening to Jump on the Bat-Wagon, hosted by the Watchtower Database. Visit WDB on YouTube for video essays, timelines, fan theories, and much more from the DC animated universe. And now, please enjoy the show.
I'm rolling. Speed. Marker.
Action. Damn it, I was too early. Who says those things anymore? Nobody that I know
bet they
of.
do. I bet they do. I think this speed thing has to be a film camera, though, right? Like getting it, like, there's going to be.
Speed is sound. Sound speed, I'm pretty sure.
So I was thinking, like, if you're running
Rolling
film
is
camera, there would have to be. Yeah, okay. That make. I mean, still, there's like a lead up to it actually working.
But as
right?
you know, much too much experience, I just go 3, 2, 1, go.
You sure do.
Which we do here too, I suppose, in some ways. Go is clap. It all transfers, you know.
Where did you come up with the 3, 2, 1, go, Jamie?
I think I've told you this before, but I discovered recently in the grand scheme, probably like 2 or 3 years ago, but there was raw footage from the first Brigadier Crenshaw, which for the listener is a Spanish project that I did in high school of a man who kills grizzly bears with a baseball bat.
You know.
They were robots, don't worry about it. Anyway, we were trying to do a shot where Will was coming down the stairs, smacking the baseball bat in his hand, and it was supposed to be like timed with music, and he couldn't come out at the right time because I was just going like, okay, like as an indicator that I was recording now because we didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah.
And so there's a bit of bloopers where you can hear him like angrily on the other side of the door just going like, James, you need to give me like, I don't know, like a countdown or something. And then it just cuts off. And then it immediately cuts to me going 3, 2, 1, go, like really mad. and then he comes out at the right time.
Wow.
It's rooted in
so much
James being
lore
pissed off. I know.
Right there. Damn.
So Scott Steele, take note of this. Go, oh, that's where it comes from.
I do think you've said this, but it's good to hear it again. You know
Thank
else it's
you.
good to hear
I
again?
thought so. What? What?
Whoa.
Echo?
No. What is that? No more issues, okay?
No more issues for your tissues.
Yeah.
Brian
Oh,
had a thing where he couldn't hear himself, or he heard himself too much or something. I don't know.
I was a robot.
Oh, it was one of those where you're hearing like kind of shit going on.
Yeah.
You were a synthoid for a second. You were
I was one of those.
Overprotective girlfriend robot. That's what he calls himself, everybody. I don't know. I'm trying to get him to stop. You said it was good to hear me do something, and then I said what really loud, and then it like blew everything out or something. I don't know. Was it that you wanted to hear me say the opening spiel to the podcast that I do?
I think that's what it was.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping a lot of people are listening to this episode because of who's joining us and what episode it is and all that stuff. And then this is the beginning of the podcast they're hearing, and it's all Brian's fault.
It is all my fault.
Except I'm waiting for my internet to go out because I've been having issues with my internet today. So
again,
it'll all be a funny joke whenever we have people here with us and all of our shit falls apart. Greetings, Bat-Wags, and welcome to episode 186 of Jump on the Bat-Wagon. I'm James from the Watchtower Database YouTube channel, and I'm here to show my good buddy Brian.
I'm James. No.
Wait.
Oh, God.
You said you were prepping for the test and you just failed. You had a 50-50 chance.
Is it like the SATs and like you get a certain amount of points for putting your name on?
Yeah.
And I didn't get that amount of
Wrote
points
the wrong
even because I
date.
was so wrong.
I know. That's
Wrong
Brian
name.
actually.
I put
there.
the date. I put the date where my name should be and
man.
where the date should be. I just wrote like Chuck.
He wrote, the calendar is a globe in the date. Look it up, idiots. He wrote there. And the teacher went, oh my God, smartest kid I've ever seen, and gave him the highest score. I'm here to show that guy the entire DC animated universe from start to finish for the very first time in the controversial airdate order, so he may view these shows the way human beings experienced them in the far gone days of the 2000s.
Jamie,
yeah.
What if tests were like, what if we didn't know? Hold on, let me rephrase that. I was doing fine in school. I just thought like tests were supposed to go by like golf rules. So like lowest number wins. And I was just like, man, I'm going to knock this out of the park.
You're going to hit a home run, as they say in golfing.
Yeah.
Today is the first time ever that Brian watches the Superman the Animated Series episode.
Golfing a home run.
It's a touchdown, negative 2 points. Superman the Animated Series episode Legacy Part 2. Your prediction last time, I barely remember. It was like 3 days ago. It was the Superman would be turned back to a good Superman by the strength of his friends and stuff.
I think I said something along the lines of he's either going to like tell everybody, he's going to be like, listen, like gather around, sit on my knee, little Timmy, and I'm going to tell you a tale.
Don't worry, I won't murder you. I just needed to tell you this story. Sit down, Timmy. And then kills him.
Hello, dog.
Rose dog.
Right, the Rose dog.
It's DVD and Blu-ray.
Are you so happy to see me? Look at that smile.
A dog's going to sit on Superman's lap, and he's going to tell him a story.
So my thought was like, he's either going to, I'll just try to hold her in one place then. So he's either going to,
no, oh my God, Max, Jesus Christ, man. Hello.
Oh my God. Go lay down.
Bye, dogs. Bye, dogs. Squashing her face in the door.
Rose, go lay down.
No, Rose.
What the fuck?
Rose, we're trying to do a podcast. So Superman's killing a child, as you were saying.
So my thought is that either Superman's going to sit everybody down and like, he's going to like talk sense into them and be like, oh yeah, I messed up. This stuff happened. It's, it's never going to happen again. I'm Superman. Or he's going to be like, hey, I fucked up. I'm going to get out of your hair. Good luck, everybody. And just like,
leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are my those are the two things I'm leaning towards.
I think you're hoping for the latter because you don't want to watch Superman anymore. Hope he just fucks off, honestly.
I'm really hoping it's like a third thing where he like opens a like ice cream shop and like only people from out of town like support it, and everyone else is like, oh, there's Superman's ice cream shop. Like we don't want to support that guy.
He thinks he can just destroy all of our armies and then go popsicles, and we'll just forgive him like that. Yeah.
He just got all those weird melty SpongeBob popsicles. And
yeah. I think he's pre-melting them with his heat vision and selling them for a higher profit.
Sounds like that guy.
Sounds like the guy who led the open mouth be old men to kill us all would do such a thing to our ice cream.
Right.
At the time of this recording,
2:18 p.m.
Stas is streaming on HBO Max and available on DVD and Blu-ray. They just came in the door. They made a cameo appearance for the podcast episode. And if you'd like to follow along, you can head over to watchtowerdatabase.com/resources. Link is in the show notes. Legacy Part 2 first aired Saturday, February 12th, 2000 at 8 a.m. on Kids WB.
Today's the 12th?
Oh my God, it is, but not the same month or year. 1 week after our last back-to-back episodes, Legacy Part 1 and Final Cut. This aired number 54, the final aired episode, and produced all the way back at number 48, way back between Obsession, that was the Toyman makes a Darcy doll, and The Demon Reborn, Batman and Superman team up to fight Ra's al Ghul. Racial ghoul. They fight a racist ghoul somewhere in the depths of Malaysia. This was written by Paul Dini and Rich Fogel. Paul Dini previously notably wrote Heart of Ice, Almost Got Him, The Man Who Killed Batman, Riddler's Reform, Over the Edge, Mad Love, and co-wrote Mask of the Phantasm, Lesak, WF, and Rebirth, Part 1. And Rich Fogel previously notably wrote Stealin' Magories, Ghost in the Machine, Sins of the Father, Old Wounds, New Kids in Town, The Demon Reborn, Rats, Eyewitness, and co-wrote WF Part 1 with Alan Burnett and Paul Dini. He also wrote Legacy Part 1 last time. And director is Dan Riba. Previously notably directed Zatanna, Trial, Riddler's Reform with no apostrophe, Lockup, Lesak Parts 1 and 3, The Main Man, Mixia's Pixelated, Holiday Nights, Critters, Earth Mover, and Apocalypse.
Now,
Thank you. Music. Music is by Shuli Walker. And animation is Coco/Dong Yang. Thank
We saw that
goodness. Yeah. Buy us a coffee, please. Check out buymeacoffee.com/Yoppie, Yoppie, linked below. Send us a Yoppie beverage and access some pretty shway exclusives, like submitting episodes for us to revisit.
Yes, dear. Very shway.
We're going to be doing that real soon. We had to catch up to today.
We did. Today was a special, specific day that we had to do, and then we'll start doing other things. Okay, so come down. We'll give you a shout out in an upcoming episode, and we'll plug your shit. We'll also do a push-up for every $1, so send us coffee for our health and your entertainment. And today's Yoppie Bevs come to us from It's As If It Was Sent on High. The artist formerly known as the Yopton, aka Legacy, has sent us Yoppie Bevs today on this Legacy Day.
Thanks, buddy.
I think I have a thing to plug, and it's only kinda my shit. I was in a movie this year. It is the most campy and low-budget C-movie slasher experience this side of the Mississippi. But you can see the on-screen debut of one Milk-Man in Mary's Lake DVDs. It says here should be for sale on Amazon, but he was wrong about that and sent me a message. Said that they are available at a different place, mawilliamsfilms.com. Mark A. Williams, M.A. Williams Films. You got a copy of this, and I did not, because I'm not you, I guess. That's
Yeah, but my thought is we'll be doing an in-person thing pretty soon here, and I'm wondering if we can watch that. I don't want to watch it without you. That seems like
that's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're gonna be kicking into that, have a nice little movie night, and friends, like, maybe do the same. You know, there's a few of you out there. Check
Support
in on the
man.
Yeah, you can check in on the Discord and find your local-ish peeps and maybe get a copy or two, or find a way to do a movie night with your friends and support your friends.
If I remember, and I might put the link in the description of this episode that you can go to check out the movie. He says, I play a guy named Chad, and you will absolutely hate me. Oh, yeah. Also, I do comics and stuff. He does. On the Geek Legacy Instagram page. Okay, that is 2 Yoppie Bevs. That's 10 push-ups. Let's do them.
All right.
Legacy 1, Legacy 2, Legacy 3, Legacy 4, Legacy 5,
Legacy 5, Legacy 6, Milk 7,
Legacy 7, Legacy Heaven, do-do-do-do-do. Mrs. Do-do-do-do-do. Will ya?
Oh,
Legacy, make love to me. Hi, hey, whoa, what?
what?
Huh?
What are you doing?
Let's go watch Legacy Part 2 and then talk about it with cool guys.
I'm sorry, Superman. There's nothing I can do.
Emil, she'll die.
But if I help either of you, it'd be considered an act of treason.
Hamilton.
Yes, of course. Just don't hurt me.
I'm sorry. Please do what you can.
Superman, wait!
Did you see the look on Hamilton's face? He'll never trust me again.
He doesn't understand. Frankly, I'm having trouble piecing it together myself. What happened to you?
It was Darkseid. He stripped away my memory and turned me loose to destroy everything I've ever loved. First the invasion of Earth, then the murder of Dan Turpin. Now Supergirl's life is hanging by a thread, and I'm an outcast. Darkseid's responsible for all of it.
What are you gonna do?
Settle it. Once and for all.
Wait! Heaven help you.
Wait, what happened to Rich?
I'm getting him. He's coming.
All right.
He's coming.
All right.
We haven't had a proper. I wanted to say hi first. Okay. Hello.
Oh, yeah, hi.
Okay, now I'll let Rich in. This doesn't matter. Hi, Rich.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
This is Brian. You have not met Brian. He's heard your name many times on the podcast, but he has not met you.
Hi,
Nice to
Brian.
meet you.
First, Rich, I want to say thank you again in person, quote unquote, for all of your help on the Justice League Ages video, because that was insane. The amount of times I was like, I wonder if this is one too many emails I'm sending Rich, and then you would write back this like perfect answer for me. So thank you.
I thought that video was hilarious.
Awesome. I'm glad. Yeah, I think it turned out really well. I was pretty proud of the little animated heads of everybody talking how those turned out.
I'm sure I'll know what you're talking about eventually.
Yeah, Brian. So I was just going to explain this to you, Rich. I think I've mentioned it before, but Brian has not seen anything past this episode, Legacy. So in the airing of everything. So when we're talking about all this stuff, we have to be very careful to not be like, oh, this is the next part of the story and that sort of thing, which is tough to do with this episode, but I think we can do it. I think we can pull it off.
Yeah, he's a super virgin.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were trying to
No
figure
one
out.
said that yet. Oh, that's really good.
We were trying to figure out a name for the podcast way, 4 or 5 years ago at this point, and we're like, should it have the word virgin in it somewhere? I don't think so. Like, people turn away from it. Yeah,
Probably.
They'll think it's a different kind of show.
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it had gone off the rails right away. Yeah.
That is this
That's
podcast.
that's all we do here.
Fair
Yeah.
warning.
We're rarely on the rails.
Yeah, so Rich, I mean, Dan's been here on this show with us a few times. First time having you on. The first thing we do, and Dan specifically asked me before getting into the call, he said, I ain't doing no recap. So because he's very tired.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was falling asleep, and then I went, wait a second, I got to talk soon. And then I realized, then I actually managed to watch a little bit of part 2.
Yeah.
And I saw it last night. So,
Okay,
I mean, it's,
okay.
so it's kind of, I got it. I can do
Okay.
part 2 at least.
First, I play the cute little song.
Sing up, if you're wondering. Sing up, what you just watched. Sing up, take a listen to the synopsis. The short summary, which is sometimes kind of long.
So quaint, so nice. This
so
was
good.
a listener's, almost all these songs you'll hear are listener submitted songs for the segments of the podcast, which has been a very cool addition. So normally I make Brian tell me, as the first time viewer of the episode, what happened in this episode. But when we have a guest on, I force them to do it instead. It would be wonderful if we could split this into kind of a legacy as a whole discussion instead of just trying to focus on just
perfect.
part 2. So Rich, if you wouldn't mind telling us what happened in part 1 of Legacy, since you were attached to both of them, and then Dan can take over and tell us what happened in Legacy part 2.
Well, basically, the short answer is lots of stuff blows up.
Yes, that's very true. Darkseid's face, yeah.
Yeah, we start on a alien planet, and Darkseid's forces are sieging the planet. And in the command center, they're hunkered down, expecting the worst. And then the worst happens when the wall explodes in, and there's an armored figure standing there who is invincible.
Mm-hmm.
And he quickly defeats all of them, and they have to kneel to his will. We go back to Darkseid's ship, and we unmask the armored character, and it turns out to be Superman.
Everyone
who
gasps.
is surprisingly presented as Darkseid's son.
Mm-hmm.
We flash back to Earth, where we see Superman flying around, and we discover that it's not actually Superman. It's a robot decoy that is being controlled by Supergirl, who is in way over her head. And everybody is wondering where the heck Superman is.
Can one of you explain who her little Yeti sidekick is and where he came from? He just appears suddenly in this episode. We assume he's in the zoo somewhere and she like plucked him out or something. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't he come from the Collector?
We would guess
was,
so. But
he was
yeah.
in the crowd in the collector's ship.
Okay,
at some
okay.
point. We did establish him as like a little.
I'm a fake fan. I don't know anything.
Yeah. He was there.
Okay. Thank you.
Darkseid gives Kal-El his next assignment, which is he's going to conquer Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Lex Luthor has figured out what's going on. He's figured out that it's a Superman is missing, and he confronts Supergirl about it. And then the big attack happens, and Superman quickly overruns defenses of Earth. It's looking bad. Luthor has one last trick up his sleeves, which he's got a kryptonite missile that he's able to fire at Superman. Lois is trying to figure out what's going on with Superman, and in seeing her, he has flashes of his real memories, which have been suppressed by Granny Goodness. Mm-hmm. And Superman gets blowed up good. And that's the end of the first episode.
But did he die, Dan, or is he still alive in part 2?
He's dead at the end.
Yeah,
I'm out of a recap now. I don't have to do it.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It was the last episode of the season too, so we're done. So no, he survives. And if I recall, was Supergirl also in that bomb explosion? So she's out as well. We open part 2 with the flashback that shows how Superman got captured by Darkseid and how he was reprogrammed by Granny Goodness. Mm-hmm. Then he wakes up in a holding cell with a red lamp simulating the red sun of Krypton that saps his powers. And then he gets a talking to by General
Hardcastle.
Hardcastle.
I was going to make Brian say it.
Yes, thank you. The military has a press conference talking about how they've neutralized Superman. Mm-hmm. And Lois is like, wait, where is he? He was alive the last time we saw him. Where is he? And she has military connections and somehow manages to sneak in to the base and
I stole my dad's credit card and it's fine.
Exactly, pretty much.
Yeah. Do we ever get any more information about Lois's dad working at the Pentagon, or is that just kind of this is how this works?
Well, I mean, it was established in the comics and on the show in an earlier episode, the Monkey Show, I think, right?
Titano. When she's a little girl in the flashback at the start, her dad's in the military. Brian, you don't remember every single thing that you've ever watched on the
show? It all comes together.
Yeah, it does. Right. Yeah,
that's good. That's a good callback. Wow.
Yeah, isn't that wild? Yeah. So then Lois manages to find Superman and free him. She's really, really good. Mm-hmm. Lex is about to kill him with a kryptonite injection when she tases Lex. Mm-hmm. And they're about to escape when Superman remembers that Supergirl is somewhere in there. And when he finds where she is, he threatens Hamilton rather brusquely. It's pretty cool. He's really getting tired of people pushing him around, so he's like, "Arr!" and scares the crap out of Hamilton, and then frees Supergirl, and they all go off together. That's right. I forgot one more thing. Important thing is that Superman finds the safe that has the mother box hiding, and he opens up a boom tube to go to Apocalypse.
I do think it's funny. You're obviously very familiar with all these terms, but it's just funny that even all these nonsense words like mother box and boom tube and everything is
nonsense.
Sorry, Jack Kirby, rest in peace. No, but it's a very serious moment where he has to open the boom tube.
Yeah. The portal to
yes.
And so he zooms over there to beat the crap out of and to get his justice with Darkseid
and everybody else
everybody else. And so yes, the Furies all leap on him, Mad Harriet, Stampa, and Lashina.
Yes.
And he takes them out like that. And then finally he confronts Granny Goodness. And she tries to zap him, but he throws her into the device that the deprogramming programming device, whatever, and electrocutes her. which I remember the note from the network on that. Darwin originally boarded like the skeleton showing and stuff.
Oh, man.
And she was like really frying and, kind of cartoony actually, but they were still like, no, you can't do that. Too much.
Even so, Brian said Granny Jack-o'-lantern as her face exploded.
Pretty much. And they actually cautioned us not to have the scream too intense. And I'm like, well, we kind of did.
You got away with a lot in this.
I think the keep alive groan at the end was like, okay, we didn't see her like head come off, and then he goes on to confront Darkseid. They have a big fist fight, zapping beams, rocks.
What did you call it, Brian? We're playing face punch or something like that.
Yeah.
playing a nice game of face punch.
I love the bit where he picks up the floor and he uses it to shield himself. But finally, like, when Darkseid's like, "No, this is it. I'm killing you." And oh yes, he mentions Dan Turpin, and it was like, oh, if I knew the death of one human would have affected you, so I would have killed more. So then Superman grabs his face as he's about to kill him with the Zeta beams, and blocks his beams, and basically, Darkseid's head explodes.
Yeah,
and
which everyone's head explodes in this. I don't know.
I know, it's awesome, so cool. And then it's cool. It's like, it was such an intense battle that like his Superman suit is now black and white. It's like, it's charred. It's like an ash form. And so I hope he has another one. And then,
nope, he looks like that now forever. Yeah.
and then he picks up Darkseid's, Darkseid's about to get him again. You think, oh my gosh, he's got more in him. And then it collapses at Superman's feet. Superman picks him up, tosses him to the masses, thinking, that's it. You're all free now. And this is not a Wicked Witch moment with the flying monkeys and the Winkies. They all like, so master, whatever you go, we'll take you. We'll nurse you back to health. And Superman's like, what the what?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's pretty realistic, actually. They're all, that's their leader and they love him, and no matter what. And Superman's about to like, I'm just gonna blow this whole place up. It's so disgusting.
Yeah, Brian, I think you said just kill them all or something.
Supergirl's like, enough. Let's go back. We're done here, and they go back. And then we see the aftermath of all of this, interviewing the public, and they're all pretty disappointed in Superman. And
I love Luthor with his wired jaws.
Yeah.
No, I'm mad.
Yeah, it's a nice little bit of levity there in the middle.
That's been coming for a long time too. Like, I've been really waiting to see that.
Yeah.
And of course, Jimmy's always, he's his pal. He's on his side. And then finally on the rooftop of the Daily Planet, Superman can hear everybody's concerns. And I'm locking my door at night.
I was going to say, I love that that's the one that we hear. I'm locking my bedroom door at night. Like, that will stop Superman for sure. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe he'll knock this time. Now that he's being a little more cautious now.
Yeah. But then, he laments to Lois that he has to sort of regain everybody's trust, and he doesn't know how he's going to do it. And she's like, one person at a time.
Yeah.
And then gives him the first kiss in the season.
Yeah. Or in the show, I think.
In the whole show. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Okay. She kissed like alternate Superman in that
that's
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's how we go out.
Yeah. I'll read the official synopsis from TP Guide real quick. It's very brief. After breaking free of Darkseid's control and realizing the damage he's done, Superman discovers Metropolis now fears him and must put a stop to Darkseid no matter what it takes. Brian, this was not what you predicted would happen.
No.
You had either that he was going to sit everybody down and apologize, or that he was just going to go, oh, that was really bad, and like leave the planet and never come back or something.
Yeah.
But I doubt that you expected the episode to end on him going, well, how am I going to do this now? Well, I guess we'll find out some other time.
So this is my question. We're talking about the production order, and this was like mid 40s or whatever. What was the next Superman episode after this? Did that address it at all? And it was something that I didn't catch, or
No.
No, the production order on this one was a little weird because actually, and Dan, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it was actually supposed to be earlier in the season. But because of some illness with Paul Dini, it was kept being pushed back.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I remember you talked about this on something, but yeah, like you had to take over from writing it from him, right? From Paul.
Yeah. I mean, he was scheduled to write it and had worked with Bruce and Alan on the story. And then he wasn't able to write it and they kept pushing it back in the schedule. So, I mean, at one point I thought they were even thinking about it being the opening of the season.
But I think what happened also, didn't we get word that the show was canceled while we were working on some stuff? And they were like, and so why Kurt did not, we generally have the one director do two-parters.
Yeah.
Kurt was pulled off to work on the pilot for the next show.
Batman Beyond. Yeah.
Batman Beyond.
Brian has seen half of Batman Beyond now, so you're good to talk about it at least existing. Yeah.
So that happened, and we were expecting to do more, but then they were like, oh, teenagers.
Right.
And so we were like, oh,
Supergirl show. What the heck?
Yeah. And so we ended up, like, okay, so that's kind of why it was pushed down.
Even though there were episodes produced after this, none of them go like, remember when you were a bad guy for a second? Like there's no.
And what's funny is we went to a comic. We used to go to Wednesday, and we used to go on comic book runs on Wednesdays. And I remember we were in the car, and it's one of the few times Paul went with us. Paul told the story on the way, and we were like, "Oh my gosh!" So because it was like Sherman Oaks to Burbank was kind of it was a little bit of a drive.
Yeah.
So he managed to tell the whole story on the ride, and we were like, wow, this is cool. Yeah, you gotta write this. And then it was a while before it kept getting put off and stuff. So
one thing that pissed me off though was that we had this great story and we all were very excited about it, and we kept it kept getting pushed down the line. And in that interim time, DC came out with a comic book that had a similar concept.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Okay.
Yep, exactly.
And I saw that on the stands, and I was like, "Oh no, we had this first."
I know exactly. That was really
that was I think Superman: The Darkseid or something was the name of that. It was, I had that in the trivia section later. Was like the soundtrack for this show also has a little bit about the legacy story being based on an 80s John Byrne Superman comic, but I don't know I've never heard anything about that. So I don't know. It doesn't say what comic that's even referring to. So
honestly, I don't recall. It's from what I remember from that ride, Paul came up with it. It was
someone in the car told DC Comics and they went and made the other thing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, eventually outlines were submitted and before the script came out. And they were like, "Oh, sure."
Yeah.
But we don't know. I mean, ideas are formed in all sorts of all sorts of places. I'm not accusing them. It's just they beat us to it in publishing. Then
Yes, but if we had been on schedule, we would have beaten them.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
But my memory of it was that they were like, "Well, we're waiting on this," and then finally it was like, "We can't wait anymore. Rich, can you help out? You'll write the first half. Paul will write the second half." And I'm like, "Great." I wrote the first half, and they were like, "Okay, you and Paul are going to write the second half." And I'm like, "Okay. I'll get started and I'll do the first half and Paul's going to do the second half." And I did the first half and Paul wrote one scene and they were like, "Okay, you have to write the rest of it."
There's no time. Yeah.
So that's sort of how it played out. And
was that chronological? Like he just wrote the opening scene of part 2 and then you wrote the rest, or?
I think he wrote the Supergirl and Hamilton scene.
Oh, okay.
And from the point where they go in and rescue Supergirl through the Hamilton thing, I believe was what he wrote.
All right. Well, that means then I have a question. When Granny Goodness is trying to zapping Superman, and she says, "You won't have wits about you. You won't have the wits enough to wipe your And then she, all hell breaks loose. She doesn't finish. What did she expect him to write?
Well, that's what I had.
Pick your.
That's what I was going to say, though. Is that
pick your nose?
In the commentary they said it was originally was wipe your, and then they had to change it to pick your.
Yeah. But it's like, but wipe your butt, pick your butt.
Yeah, it could still be ass.
Pick your friends, pick your nose, pick your friend's nose.
What is he picking?
You won't have enough wits left to pick your friend's nose, is what she was going to say.
I've got to say that one of my great joys in this episode is Ed Asner's performance as Granny Goodness.
Yeah.
He is so wonderful. And he enjoyed playing that part so much, that he, normally got to play his sort of Ed Asner's kind of role. And this really he was able to vamp it up and have a great time.
He really did. He really loved that.
Brian's been caught off guard by that voice every single time it happens. Like, oh yeah, geez, oh my god.
Which is not that it's not fitting. It's just you see like this like kind of old lady. You're like, oh, what's her voice? And they're just got kind of more of like a robust voice for an older lady. But I guess she's kind of a powerful one anyway. It fits.
I mean, initially I was like, well, we got to get B. Arthur for this because I mean, just be naturally a B. Arthur, and then Bruce was like, wait a second. I have this idea. And we're like, okay, that's it. And it was, what it's based on. How he was inspired by this.
Isn't it from Man from Uncle something?
Girl from Uncle.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Boris Karloff.
Yeah.
You should look it up on YouTube. It's pretty horrifying. He plays a character
Boris
called
Karloff in drag,
and he plays Mother Muffin, and he's just this old lady, and it's just hilarious. It is so funny.
Is that the basis for just the animated version, or is that like Jack Kirby's basis for
No. It's the animated version.
Okay,
Bruce was just like, I've got a casting idea here because it's just so weird.
Yeah.
That and just the idea of Ed Asner as Granny just kind of like popped into his head, and we're like, yeah, absolutely.
He can do
this
it.
will work. And he was delighted. He was delighted by it.
Well, you were talking earlier about the fact that there were standard notes on this episode and stuff like that, and my recollection was that throughout the whole series that we didn't get very many standard notes, but this one had a lot of stuff in it.
I was gonna say you got a lot away with a lot of it in this episode.
We had to be careful about his relationship with the Furies in there, which was a little bit suggestive.
And it was even like I remember seeing the BS&P notes not too long ago, and there was something about the Furies, like they had to fall. We had to see them after the fireball that they go through. We had to make sure that we see them okay. So it's like everybody had to be okay because it's like the only thing that wasn't is Superman coming in through the boom tube using his heat vision and
oh my god,
incinerating,
obliterating,
it's like those parademons are like, whoa, they're nothing.
Those guys.
I was gonna say you've got the cell back there,
Oh my god.
Now, I mean, maybe, it's just a very bright light and we just can't see them, just like, it's just, it's obscured by the bright light.
They're just some weird mouth breathers. It's okay if they get incinerated. It's fine.
Brian has been calling them the open mouth bee old men this whole time. He has no idea. Like, I've had to explain to him, like, they're called the parademons like 6 different times, but it's better to have open mouth bee old men.
Well, we did get some people occasionally read that as parade mons.
Okay. That's pretty good. They're a Digimon, I think, at this point. I love how you do have to show, like, Granny gets the keep alive groan, the Furies you have to see them hit the ground, and then Superman had previously spent an entire episode fighting Calabac, and Calabac kept getting back up, and then in this, he just punches him off the railway, he falls past the camera, and you don't even see him hit the ground. He's like, he's just gone. Yeah.
That's okay.
Calabac gets no respect.
No respect.
I mean, following up with the, like, I can't believe he's blood or whatever after that is perfect too. It's such a disappointment.
I'm just glad that Stomp is okay. She's one of my favorite villains. She's great.
is awesome. And Diane Delano, who did her voice, was so much fun. She's so sweet. And I miss her. She was on Northern Exposure, and she was really great on that show.
Yeah.
And so when I found out she was cast, I was, oh my gosh, this is so cool! I got
a kick in the head. Yeah. That's just, you have to have those like kids WB kind of moments as he's just charging in to go murder Darkseid. That you have to have these little like little joke here and there as we're flying through and killing parademons everywhere. Yeah.
Puns are always welcome.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, that moment where Darkseid is climbing up Superman after his face gets blasted. Every time I see that, I'm reminded of Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny.
Shotgun. Darkseid's beak was on the back of his head.
I keep expecting Michael Ironside to say, "You're despicable."
Okay, I have a question about this from those who made this happen. We have a good solid second of Superman putting his hands over Darkseid's face before like the blast goes off. Is Darkseid, like, is he not able to pull his punches?
Stop. Yeah.
Like he like hit the go button and he's just like Superman.
Nah, it's a lot of power. He's just like, oh, I'm gonna, because he was gonna just decimate him. And so it's like, it's a buildup.
But no, like,
so
slap the hands
you
on
can
the
see
face.
in the previous times when he uses it, there's like a big crackle of energy before the beam shoots out. And so he's already built that up at that point.
Okay.
And I think he probably thinks he can go through Superman's hands.
That's
he probably
true.
thinks he can just like, you know, he doesn't realize how invincible Superman's hands are. Because, I mean, he used a freaking piece of floor to block it before.
Specifically
so
his
like,
hands.
Well, now he's got just his hands. So that's not going to do it.
That's a fair point. I didn't consider
and that's
that.
kind of why Superman's bloody. I mean, it's not just the blast. It's like, no, it wasn't an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
I like how when he comes out of the rubble, when you mentioned his black and white essentially suit now, I had always interpreted that as, oh, that's just like the outdoor lighting of Apocalypse is like, that's how his suit looks. But then I realized as it was happening, earlier, like 2 minutes ago, we saw a normal colored suit. So he's just like charred the saturation away.
It's dust. It's dust. It's char. It's the whole.
Or he just turned into George Reeves.
Absolutely.
It was interesting for me to see in that final battle that, you know, like you have these two titans, sure, and this has like kind of been a something that's been hard for me to grasp over the course of Superman is like, what is the power here? Like, what is the power cap? Like for Batman, it was easy for me because he got like a human dude, he's got inventions, and he's doing these things. It's easy to comprehend what he's capable of. Superman, I had a hard time kind of comprehending that. And I found it interesting that you have these two titans at the end, and they're just like, I'm gonna punch you, and then you're gonna punch me. And I'm going to dodge your punch, but then you're going to get another punch in. And it was interesting to see it come down to this literal, just like, you know, back alley brawl. But to be fair, what else? What else? I mean, Superman, like heat vision? Is he going to do his Tasmanian devil thing again? Like, you know, I guess it makes sense that it kind of becomes a little more like visceral, a little more animalistic.
And that's the thing is that throughout the show, you know, we have depowered Superman a little bit to just for the dramatic purpose of the show. It's like otherwise, you know, this guy that can move planets and all the stuff that he could do in the comics, we kind of toned that down a little bit, but he's still like, you know, he's Superman for crying out loud. He generally pulls his punches when he's fighting a living creature. You know, he doesn't really haul off like he does against Darkseid. So this is where we really see him cut loose.
In terms of him sort of like throughout the series getting beat up and stuff like that, I think there's also an element that we played, which is if you catch him off guard, he can be knocked down.
Yeah.
Right.
But he'll always get back up again.
Right.
Yeah, we had a whole thing. We have like a segment coming up about Superman's powers and weaknesses. We'll add to the list of, you know, if there's new ones. And we had someone write in a while ago about, explaining that, you know, how come sometimes like Superman can get like knocked out by a laser blast, but other times he can just stand there and deflect 50 million of them or whatever. And it was more of a, like, he has to kind of turn the power on. Like he has to flex that muscle or whatever. He's not just constantly whatever ray of power coming off of him. So it made it a lot easier to understand that kind of thing.
And those beams aren't always the same strength either.
Right.
You know, it's like caliber of bullets or something, you know, it's like
sometimes
it's a 22
it's a whole
versus a
skyline of Beeld, man. And sometimes,
Dan, this is why I need you like holding my hand through this process. Because I'm that level of idiot where I'm like, oh, it's another laser beam, but this time it hurt him. But I do similarly speaking, like Supergirl got blasted with some of the lasers in the second part of this episode. I mean, she got like taken out, and Superman was just like, I'm gonna take a couple of these blasts and then like blow these dudes' guns up and knock them off the screen.
So she needs a hospital, and then he blow those guys' guns up, and I'm like, and so do they. Like they're probably dead. Yeah.
I say that it's sort of like the story about Harry Houdini, that he used to challenge people to hit him in the stomach because he could harden his abs and it wouldn't hurt. But if somebody caught him off guard and he hadn't flexed that, then it would hurt him.
Yeah, that's perfect. That moment of Supergirl getting hit with the laser too is like, I forgot that happened. I knew she was all depowered and whatnot, but like Shirley Walker was going off in this episode too. There was a lot of really good like Phantasm quality level stuff going on. And when that happens, it catches you so off guard. It's like mid-sentence, you don't expect it. I've seen this episode 50 times and I'm just like, whoa, hang on a second. It was crazy. Yeah. Brian, you've had this whole time, I'm going to throw you under the big bus a little bit.
Don't you?
You've had the whole Superman show. You've been back and forth on like liking Superman as a character, liking these episodes or whatever, comparing it to Batman or Batman Beyond as we've been going. It's easier to get hooked on the coolness factor of a Batman show, I think, for you. And did this two-parter do anything for you for Superman the Animated Series as a whole, or did you just kind of enjoy it? Because I could tell you were like glued to this episode as we were watching. You were sipping your tea and watching the show, and that's not rare, but it's that we'll have almost zero commentary during it.
I want to like clarify on something that you said, especially because like, you got these extra couple sets of eyes watching me here. It's not that it's been like that Batman or Batman Beyond is cooler. It's been a comprehension for me of like, you have this like nearly invincible being, like what's the challenge going to be here? And I feel like that was just something harder for me to latch onto. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think like Superman, it's so hot and cold for me. What's our like our Yop 10? What's our like absolute top 10?
Oh, for all the shows combined, top 10. There's only 2 Superman episodes. On
but
either
like
of ours.
World's Finest is at like number 4, and so like there's a lot. There's a lot that I've enjoyed in Superman, and there's other episodes that just didn't really hit for me.
What about Late Mr. Kent?
It's on there too. That's the other one.
I mean, Apocalypse Now, I think compare, and this one are ones that I really think hit, with the potential of what the intensity of the show.
For me, it's been the whole time trying to like, not convince Brian, but just sort of like basically just been waiting around for the finale the whole time, because every time that Darkseid has appeared in any other episode, even Apocalypse Now, it's felt a little bit like, other than killing Dan Turpin, he's kind of done nothing. Like he's just sort of stood around and said ominous sounding things, and his eyes light on fire, and then the screen fades out. Like that's kind of what he does. And then, but me knowing, of course, that this set of episodes is coming, I'm just like, Brian, you're gonna hate Darkseid. Like you're gonna get into it. I know, what all this stuff. Obviously there's, other things to come and whatever, but I feel like at this point it's at least heightened, hopefully, for you that Darkseid is like,
so our first, it's funny with all the almost 200 episodes that we've watched now that I can remember any details of any specific episodes. But I remember his first, like his introductory episode, it's literally just like him standing up in the back of a room.
Yeah.
And like all of like everyone in the comments for the show was just like, oh, Darkseid. Oh, so awesome. Were you so excited to see Darkseid? And it's like, I have no idea who this guy is. Why do I care?
Exactly.
Why do I care that this guy was standing intimidatingly? Yeah. And like now I get it. And it was cool. It was cool to see this. Like I like seeing Superman being challenged. And I think like, not that I should be, but again, to compare to like Batman, it's like, okay, you have this like super villain with these crazy powers or this crazy like force behind them or whatever. And like, how is like an everyday Joe, more or less, going to deal with a thing? This was really neat to see Superman like having a challenge, having a real challenge. Like, how are you going to overcome this one? And yeah, I love in any media, if I can't predict what's going to happen at the end, I am pleased. And I am so happy that this ended on this note. Cause like we talked at the opening of the episode, it was like, yeah, he's either going to apologize and everyone's going to forgive him, or he's going to do some big thing, which like wins people's favor back. Or what was my second one?
I think that was, he's going to leave the planet.
Oh yeah, or just leave the planet. And it was cool to have this like, just leave it kind of on a hook, because then I think it takes it to the viewer to kind of make up their own mind about it. I love that. I love when media does that.
I remember when I started writing on the show, I had questions about Superman's relationship with the military. And Alan said, no, they're fine. They're cool with him and everything. And I'm like, really? It seems like they would have some questions.
Yeah.
And he says, no, that's just the way that we're playing it. We're not playing it that way. And then when we came around to this point, it was like, okay, that's where I thought we should be with.
Yeah. I originally thought that there would be a faction of people that would not like welcome Superman. I figured that, yes, he's the big Boy Scout hero we know him to be, but there are a lot of people that this sort of questions their reality. And not everyone is going to be on board with the guy, and seeing just how different everybody is in the world, it's like not everyone's going to be so overjoyed that he exists, even if they've been helped by him. They're going to be,
That's pretty much the premise of the James Gunn movie.
Yeah. Exactly. And so I remember thinking, gosh, it'd be cool if we could establish, early on people just, and the only, it's like, we're like, no, let's not go there. It's a kid's show, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think it was like the first Brainiac episode. He's like standing among a bunch of generals as if he just belongs there. He's like, we're
that
just
was the episode
buddies.
That was the episode I wrote.
Yeah, you're right.
And then it wasn't until Hardcastle was established that they like, okay, now they are people besides Lex that distrust Superman and fear him. And it's like, usually it's people in power, usually people who want to, they feel like they've placed themselves in a position of protecting people. And they're like, who's this guy? And what's his angle? And,
you guys really, I think, told something very human. And I think it was really interesting for me. And it's so hard for me now not to make some kind of political connection to this, because this just shows like, here's a figure and here is as polarized views as you can get about this figure. There's been so many things I think that were like, especially if it's something that like Stan was dealing with, is like very like heavy political metaphor. And I love that. And this one was just like, wow, are we not experiencing something like this of our own, kind of polarized in itself, but you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. I know. I mean, that ending is just sort of like, wow, this monster, he's freed you from this monster, and yet you're still behind him. You still worship this guy. And after everything that he's done to you. And it's like, nah, because belief systems are ingrained and
I just like that you guys had the balls, pardon me, to end this.
Sorry, I have a call here. Ironically, it's Brett Blevins who storyboarded the first part of this show. So
get him on the podcast.
I can't do that to him.
But you answer.
Shall I?
Whatever. I don't know.
No, I'll text him. I'll let him know what's going on. This is awkward. Oh, it's off already.
Tell him I said hi.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Send him a text, and then Jamie send him a link to the.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
Well, let me get back to your guys' balls that I was talking about. If you to end the Superman show, like the show about the like hopeful, sunny clouds guy, like superhero character compared to the Batman stuff, to end that show on such a like, I don't want to say like dour, but just a question mark more than a exclamation mark, because like one of the things that I had in the trivia was that the ending music cue to this episode when they're up on the Daily Planet, Shirley Walker wrote a much more like triumphant sounding, Superman kind of ending piece to the episode. And then it was flipped out. It was replaced with one from Brave New Metropolis just for that scene, because it was a lot more like a passive, sort of hopeful, but sort of sad sounding, I don't know where this is going to go next kind of thing, which works a lot better. Like I listened to it's on YouTube. It's the Superman original soundtrack. Lois and Superman is the title of the track. It it's a lot more like, and ta-da, the show is over, which does not really match the scene, but I'm sure that it could if it was put in there, edited the right way and whatever. But I really like that we have such a, like, the whole episode is just so, I'm like I said, Brian is just glued to it. Like we're sort of on the edge of your seat, so to speak, of like, we don't know what's happening next, what's going to happen with each of these characters. And Rich, you said something near the top about how everything kind of comes together in this one episode, which is always so funny to me that it's not intended to be the finale of the show, because it's, at a certain point when you and Paul are writing it, was that, okay, well, now that we know it's going to happen at the end, were you writing it with that in mind, or was it never written as the finale and just aired that way?
By the time we finished it, we knew there was a possibility it would be the season finale.
Okay.
I think at that point, there was still some slim hope that we would get picked up for more episodes, and we could say, okay, this would set up a new storyline, a new through line. It would make the new episodes feel a little bit different. But of course, that never happened.
Right.
But you still sort of want to tell the stories that lead you to the best places.
Yeah.
And I feel like we pretty much nailed what we were trying to do on this particular episode. We don't always hit the bullseye, but this one I think holds up.
Yeah. I just love how it's jam-packed with, Hamilton comes back and Lois and Jimmy have their little moments and all that stuff, where a normal episode, you wouldn't necessarily make the time for like, well, what did this guy think? What did this supporting character think of what's going on? But you do in this episode, and it doesn't feel like too stuffed or too rushed or anything like that. Of course, it being over 2 episodes helps with that, but
super good pacing on this one.
As much as it's not the finale, quote unquote, it feels so purposeful, which I was saying to Brian last on when we covered part 1 was like, I was shocked years after the fact to learn that it wasn't intended to be the finale, because it always feels like such a, like, this is the end of the Superman show. Everything is wrapped up more or less, all the characters get their little moments and all that kind of thing. So,
but by the time we were boarding it, we had a pretty strong idea that was the case, because the Batman Beyond was being developed. And so Bruce boarded the last part, by the way.
Right. Yeah. The hands over the eyes and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was Brett did the first act. James Tucker did the second. Darwin Cook did the first part with the up until Granny Goodness gets fried. And then Bruce came up, did the ending bit. And also, by the way, speaking of network notes, he was very, very specific about what that blown up face of Darkseid was supposed to be. Because in the board, it's all black and nasty. Yeah. You don't know if that's blood or not. So he had to write, everywhere writing, not blood, black, and he calls it ichor.
Okay. There's blood on Superman's face, but Darkseid is just kind of a mesh of nothing.
But that whole that's. By the way, Brett texted back, "Hi, Rich," and a little smiley emoji.
Oh, good.
What a nice guy.
There it is. Proof. Hi, Rich, frowny face. I have to. Let me list off the cast here real quick. Most of them are returning voice actors. Tim Daly as Superman / Clark Kent, Dana Delaney as Lois Lane, Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor, who got some really great one-liners in there, especially during the interrogation kind of stuff. I love, like Brian said, that he gets to punch Lex in the face because he's depowered enough that he's not going to like murder him by doing that, cave his skull in or whatever. And Michael Ironside as Darkseid, of course. Nicole Tom as Supergirl with a space in the middle for some reason. Ed Asner as Granny Goodness. Charles Napier as General Hardcastle. This is the whole team is here. David Kaufman as Jimmy Olsen. Michael Dorn as Calabac. Victor Brandt as Professor Hamilton, there for like 2 minutes, but what a 2 minutes it was. Mm-hmm. Diane, did you say it was Delano? I've been saying Delano.
No, it's Delano.
Oh, Brian. He's having a technical problem potentially.
You can write your responses.
You can't hear us. Hold up a sign.
Can you hear us?
We can talk about Justice League. No, well, they can't hear us.
Well, what I love about this episode is that Lois gets to save Superman in it.
Yeah,
it's like
a nice
turn
switch,
everything on its head.
Yeah. He's the damsel in distress.
I was just gonna say, Damsel is his actual real name.
Exactly.
That was sort of another bit that I was surprised made through the censors or whatever was Supergirl in the operating table is like, we're just covering the bits to don't see these kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And it was like Brian just kind of looked up at me like, huh? Or whatever. So Brian's, I think, said like, who are these doctors? Because like we almost never see any other scientists there except Hamilton. And then as soon as he asked that, then they all walked out and Hamilton takes his thing off. And I thought, I don't think we've seen Hamilton for like 20 episodes. Like he just kind of was, he was around
been there
bunch,
for a while.
Yeah, at the start, and then was not really part of things. But that was kind of another like nice bring everything back stuff for the finale is like, oh, Hamilton's here and Calaback's here and Lex is here and Hardcastle's here and everybody. Yeah. So
Where's Bibbo?
Right. Yeah. Where is Bibbo?
I love Bibbo.
He got thrown in the lake or something.
I want him to come back. I want James Gunn to make a Bibbo series.
Honestly, it doesn't feel like it's off the table for the stuff he's pulling.
No, it'd be cool.
Brian!
Gentlemen, never trust Windows. My God.
Oh, okay.
So do we have to do the show over again?
No.
Play the recap jingle. and now you have to watch the Superman series all over again.
I didn't do it.
This is your penance. Yeah.
For trusting Windows.
I was literally asking Dan if it was Diane Delano, and then I looked over and Brian's going, stop, everything's broken or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. As Stampa, Andrea Martin as Mad Harriet, Diane Michelle as Lashina. We have John Rubino as Soldier, who a guy shooting Superman in the base, probably. He was previously Guard in Bizarro's World, Houston Control in Brightest Day, gang member in, I'll say the correct name, Growing Pains, Lexi #1 in A Fish Story, which is one of the guys on bikes chasing Aquaman and Lois Lane on their motorcycle.
Yeah, okay.
Reporter in Rebirth Part 2 and news anchor in The Demon Reborns. You know, all your favorite characters. Robert David Hall is our last cast member as Spokesman, who I assume is probably the guy on TV with the big Superman sign behind him and saying, you know, does the world trust him now stuff.
Yeah.
He was previously additional voices in Heart of Ice, news anchor in Prototype, reporter in Mean Seasons, and reporter in Legacy Part 1. So he's back.
Noticing a trend.
Yeah. We've covered a lot of the trivia I already had, so I only have a few things. And as always, you guys can kind of give me the green light on like, that's a real thing or not. This first few are actually some goofs from the episode. So sorry about that. I'm going to call you out. When Darkseid says, so the prodigal son returns, let him come, the cracks on his forehead disappear. So when he's sitting back in his chair, he's got none of the little craggles on his forehead. He looks very bald, very empty there, which we'll get to. The interior of Darkseid's palace is left unchanged from its appearance in Little Girl Lost, including a video screen of Earth with Fleischer's comet still visible, even though it was destroyed. He's got that screen next to him with the comet. What are you guys doing? Saving money or something? I don't understand. When Superman and Lois are talking after Superman yells at Professor Hamilton, Lois's green outfit turns purple in one shot. I assume that's just we used the wrong Lois model for one shot for no reason. When Lois and Superman kiss at the end, Superman's neck disappears, leaving his head floating. I was really glad that Brian did not catch that.
What? I've had people point that out. Maybe it was you.
It probably was me.
I do remember people pointing that out and going, what? How did we
I've said that in a couple of videos, where I say like, oh, by the way, like Superman's neck disappears. Now you'll never not see that or something.
Oh, you
Ironically, I didn't this time I watched it.
That's
so
good. That's good.
It's like, it's, you know.
It's his super invisibility.
He's flexing really hard. Yeah.
There you go.
General Hardcastle asks Superman, how would you win back our trust? Rescue a kitten from a tree, which is likely a reference to the Christopher Reeve Superman film where Superman returns a girl's cat that was stuck in a tree. However, this is a pretty common Superman thing to do. I don't know if it really originated in that movie or if he'd done that before, but
I think he'd done it in a comic, but
probably.
I think so.
Bruce Timm personally storyboarded the showdown between Superman and Darkseid. We talked about he felt he knew these characters well enough and knew how much they despised each other, and it would only work properly if that energy and emotion was captured properly on paper first. He would be the one to like really hammer home the facial expressions and the curves against flats or whatever, the
Straights
motion
against curves, yes,
the arcs of motion.
and the action arcs are yeah.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that he actually didn't have time to finish it because we were, doing too much stuff on Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
So he roughed it out, and Stephen Jones cleaned it up for the most part. He saved some of the close-up fight stuff. He did some of that, and I think the rough for the reporter ended up pretty much being the model based on what Steven did, and I think he was kind of doing a Larry King type.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
It's like a Bill O'Reilly fused with Larry King.
The guy said, "Fuck it, we'll do it live," as he walked up in Superman. Yeah. The last one I got is footage from the scene in My Girl in which Mr. Elon blows a vat of hot lead off its support is reused when Granny Goodness's rod blows up. Take that as you will. Footage from Where There's Smoke, where Volcana blasts Superman with a fireball in the parking lot, is reused several times when Lois Lane shoots Superman's ankle cuffs, the various times when the military opens fire on Superman, Lois, and Supergirl, and finally 3 more times during the final showdown with Darkseid. And this is like the very specific kind of cloudy, puffy,
yeah,
red.
no, we did that ahead of time. That was one of those things. That wasn't something that was done taken in a specific show. It was used first in a show.
Sure.
But it was actually like one of the painters, I think Dave McBride, did airbrush explosion thing, and we kept sort of reusing.
Oh, so you're saying like it's just created for the show, and then that just happened to be the first episode.
It's done in editing. Yeah,
wow.
It was a stock explosion.
Yeah. I mean, there's some that were like from a show, and then there's some that are sort of the airbrushy, soft stuff is like that. That stuff, generally, we did that.
This is the stuff that I love having guys like you on here to give us this behind the scenes, because it's the stuff that, like, as someone who's done a lot of like theater production, and I love like seeing how the sausage is made. And I don't know why. I just find this stuff really interesting.
Yeah.
We also did a thing where we took a Looney Tunes explosion and copied it frame by frame and had a painter do it here so that we built our own version fresh.
It was the Elmer Fudd shotguns with Darkseid's beak, right?
Pretty much. And we used that a lot. A lot of punches and stuff for like one frame of whatever, but a lot of times the explosion thing was based on a Looney Tunes explosion.
That's so
That
cool.
was something that in this episode I hadn't really clocked before. We're talking about Darkseid, quote unquote, didn't do much until this episode. When Superman starts punching him and he's like, "You dare strike me." It's like, oh yeah, this is the first time he's actually laid hands on Darkseid, and it has so much more like weight to it because it's like, oh, they're finally like fighting each other or whatever, and it's actually worthwhile or whatever.
Yeah, because he would never get his hands dirty before.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Exactly.
Send his minions out. Yeah. We had a couple questions from the audience. Eric LeBeau had asked, were there any internal concerns with you all about this being the finale of Superman when it wasn't the original plan? Or were you like, oh, well, this isn't that bad of a place to end it? So I guess we've talked about this a little bit, but was that upsetting to you that like this is the ending, or does it feel more like, okay, cool, this works very well?
Well, I think it worked better than ending it on Superman's pal.
Oh my God, yeah.
There you go.
Just press this watch and I'll come, and the show is over.
Yeah. There you have it. No, it was a worthy ending, and it was one of those things where the promise of a new show was
your jobs were intact.
and something creative and interesting and different to do. So we were like, at least we get to end this right. I mean, we'd already had the rug pulled out from under us on Superman because when Batman came along, they were like, oh yeah, because they were going to have 65 half hours of the show. And then we didn't get that far. And then you're like, you got Batman back. What? Okay, cool. Yay. And, but we are going to not do as many Superman. And we're like, oh, come on. And so there was this idea that maybe we would get to the 65 Superman eventually, mixed with Batman episodes. And then they were like, no, Teenage Batman.
It's just nice that you at least got to do this two-parter instead of, because there's your 52 episodes for syndication, and then you got these 2 more essentially for like, thank you for letting us finish the show or whatever. Yeah. Dr. Derp had asked, Mark Evanier, personal assistant to Jack Kirby, famously wrote the inaugural appearances of Darkseid in STAS. Was he a consultant on episodes like Legacy or Apocalypse Now, or were you left to your own devices? I figured not, but yeah.
No, he wasn't. I happened to write like pretty much all the rest of the Apocalypse stories. It was partially because I was a huge Kirby fan, and Bruce knew that, and we were just sort of like on the same wavelength about how to tell the stories and stuff like that. And there was no question that we were going to be faithful to the Kirby fourth world.
Yeah.
I think everybody respected Mark and his contribution there, but we had a pretty strong view of what we were trying to do. And
trusted you at that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
A Gender Banana asked I'm curious if there were any episodes made for B-Test or S-Test that you wish you got to work on. So I assume this is a question about episodes you didn't direct or write that you were like, oh man, I wish I got that one. I know, Dan, you had some Batman ones early on that you're like, dang it, give me Riddler's Reform, whatever. But like, if there were any Superman or Batman episodes that you didn't get to do that you wish you could have.
Well, I know from my standpoint, I was not in the crew for the initial run of Batman.
Yeah.
And so when they said we were going to do more Batmans, I was through the roof because it was like, yes, I get to do that.
Yeah.
And I was thrilled to be doing Superman and was really enjoying that. But the idea that I would get a second chance at getting a whack at Batman was pretty darned exciting.
Yeah. It was cool to get another chance. Honestly, I can't think of anything because I really like our directors.
Yeah.
So I always feel like
very
it's a
political
lot of work.
Very nice.
So if I really watch a good episode, it's like, I don't want to just have to put my name on it. I like, it would have been fun to have worked on certain things,
sure.
Mad Love or something like that, but it was like, no, I'm pretty happy with what I got.
You don't feel like, I would have done that better or something.
Yeah, no. It's like I was pretty happy with all of that stuff.
Well, one of the things that I miss about that unit was the fact that, we as writers were able to work so closely with the directors and the artists, and that, like, Dan, if you had a question or something like that, you'd come down and we would talk about it.
Yeah.
Or you had ideas.
I
remember in the last Batman Superman crossover that we did, you had contributed a lot to that, and it was like, thank God for Dan on that episode.
It was fun. That was a cool one because I got to do Talia finally, and I hadn't had a Raish episode, and it was fun.
Yeah.
On a similar question, like Dan, I think I asked you this before. Maybe it was like even the first time we had you on. Rich, how did you get involved in this? How did you become a writer for the DCAU?
Well, when I was starting out writing in animation, I actually started doing storyboards, and then I moved over to the writing. And one of the first things that I wrote was on Super Friends with Alan Burnett. And so then when Batman came around and he moved on to that, I was busy with other things. But then when Superman came up, he said, hey, you want to write a Superman? And I'm like, heck yeah, I would love to. And then when they decided they were going to do Batman episode, they needed to beef up the crew. And so they brought me on staff for that. And that's how I got involved. But I had known and worked with Alan for like 15 years before that.
That's awesome. It seems like there's a lot of tight knit. And we've talked in the past of like different voice actors kind of coming in or people making cameo appearances. It seemed that like it was just a really like tight knit crew, and y'all talking about doing like your comic book runs. Like,
that's
so
I love
cool.
Those stories. Yeah. The last question that I plucked from our Discord server was from LexCorp Cares, who has been writing in a lot. They said,
do they really?
It's been an amazing, like we get a message, I mean, probably weekly, for each podcast, and it's all like a PR spokesperson for LexCorp, and it's
it's really good.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And this question from him is very on brand. Who do I have to thank for the Shark Tank in Lex's office, because they need to know how much I love it? Do you know who?
I'm asking this legitimately. I'm pretty sure it's Bruce. I'm pretty sure Bruce had the idea of having the Shark
It's a very
Tank.
Bond villain.
Oh, it's so
it really
Bond.
is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Bond.
Well, I'm going to blast through our final segments here. So first of all, we have Keen Effects.
All right, Rich, buckle up.
Cool effect shots in the episode, keen, if you will. Obviously, to me, I think my top one is going to be the Darkseid eye laser kind of rotating and splaying out before his face explodes, and then Granny's jack-o'-lantern skull face.
But I think also with Granny Goodness's ending, I think that's where there's a whole bunch of Kirby crackle going on.
Yep.
Yeah, behind
You got it. You got it.
Oh, that's so
I love
good.
that's one thing
That's
that I
so
love
good.
that Brian has like latched onto is the Kirby crackle. Like he calls it by name perfectly every time.
Yep.
It's brilliant.
Well, that was like the one thing
so
I have
proud.
from like the Marvel comic sort of thing,
Yeah.
right? Like it's the endear, and I'm like, oh, that's my childhood right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, were there any that stood out to you guys? You who made the episode that was particularly keen from these couple of episodes.
I like the silhouette of Darkseid coming through the smoke and revealing
yeah.
his hideous, burnt up husk of a face.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
I mean, it's not an effect per se, but one of the things that really struck me watching this was how great the color keying throughout the episode was.
Yeah.
The different lighting, in the red, under the red sun in the prison and stuff like that. It all really worked really well.
You kind of have that like ray coming down and you can tell that there's like two different General Hardcastle cells that are like commingling and shifting across that line or whatever. I was like legitimately impressed by that of like, oh, this isn't just, turn on the After Effects layer. This is
they really like recolored everything. It was tough. And the other thing that was tough, by the way, that I kind of the X-ray vision shot down the hall where Superman is looking for Supergirl.
It's a little jittery.
The mat is off, and that was the retake, I think, because I don't know. Now I don't trust home video to give us our best shot.
Probably,
sometimes, but I think that was the retake that aired. Yeah, we did that like 2 or 3 times, and it was just too hard. They never quite got it right.
Well, you have another thing that it like as it goes further down the hallway, you have to get that perspective shift, so it gets smaller and smaller. Like that's tough.
and it's like, and they're animating a mat along with 2 backgrounds. So you've got that pan going, and it's just so hard to get that mat to like match the.
I still think it looks pretty good, but
it looks
was
very good. But
something that stood out. Yeah,
I mean, if they had found a way to fuzz the edge of the thing and blur it, but that they didn't have the technology.
They should have just done it. They should have just done it digitally.
Missing
out.
Come on.
but you'll notice when he finally gets to the room and we see it, we don't have the holdout mat. It's just a double exposure because it's like, screw all that stuff.
That last shot was way too hard. Yeah. Well, like I guess I'll say an unkeen, an anti-keen shot to me is the boom tube opens. It's very cool looking visually, but Lois Lane walks up to Superman and just kind of like touches him and then says, "Okay, now you can go." And then
but because she was supposed to give him a goodbye kiss,
right?
And we're like, we're saving the kiss for the end.
Yeah, I can tell what the intention was there. It was just
and it's like, and it doesn't read as her hand should have been on his cheek longer,
right?
It
Or
should have
like
been like rested or on his chest or something. Yeah, and he should like I gotta go.
Do the same thing as in part 1 where he just shoves her out of the way. Like, I gotta go.
But it's like giving like a kiss on the forehead or something. Just like take his hand is some kind of, but that little touch on the face doesn't quite cut it either.
Just a little bit of sexual tension. Just a little like 20%.
But I just wish it was just held on his hand, on the face a little bit longer, and you're like, that's enough. All right.
Tell you what, when you rewatch this episode, just hit pause.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
that's good.
Have the soundtrack playing on loop for a second. We got from the Fandom Optimists podcast. This is Jordan Blumen's Musical Minute.
Hey, music.
That's the new little intro with Terry there.
Now over to the musical minute, recorded from inside a Chipotle for some reason for Legacy Part 2. I do know the reason. It's because I forgot to record this earlier, so now I'm here. I really like the sad, sort of slow version of the Superman theme bridge when they're carrying away Superman and Supergirl at the beginning of the episode. I thought that was cool. There's a slight hint at the Superman fanfare when he comes through the portal to Apocalypse, and it kind of turns into this like minor key fanfare. It doesn't wind up being the Superman theme, but it starts out like it's gonna be, and I thought that was pretty cool. And when Superman busts in the door to Darkseid's palace, the coolest, most badass chords ever. Never apologize for loving your fandom, and try to stay optimistic.
Yeah, that big brassy like trumpet call as soon as he blasts the doors down. Brian like started whistling it, I think. Like, whoa, and it caught off. Yeah, the music in this was fantastic. I think one of my favorite bits is like it's not used too often, but because of how many times I've seen these, I caught it. But it was when Darkseid, his face is all exploded and he walks up to Superman, he's grabbing at him and falling. You hear this like, I think it's maybe trumpet, I'll have to go back, but like a lone solo instrument is playing Darkseid's theme, and just as it's about to hit the last couple notes, it kind of trails off like as he's falling, like he doesn't give him the full Darkseid theme, and it's a very fun little
it's a bit of a fake out because we don't know if he survived, and he's just like, oh my gosh, he's going to give him more. Oh no.
I don't know if you guys know the answer to this or not, but like when a composer is attached to a specific episode, is Shirley on these last couple because, okay, this is the finale, we need Shirley to be the composer, or is it just happenstance that she got these episodes? Because it feels like a purposeful, like, have the lead composer like on these or whatever. But
I don't know that it was because it was the final episode, but we knew it was a big and important episode.
Yeah.
So I think she would have gotten the assignment. Yeah. Either way, if it could have worked out.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Jordan also tagged on he's been doing a little Jack Ryder reporter bit, and this is that.
Oh, God. Shit. Oh, fuck. Okay. Jack Ryder's personal notes. I've just returned from the future using an unstable time-traveling briefcase. Long story. I've been approximately 50 years from now. Several years that I've been there now, and I've seen a lot of incredible things, but no one would believe me if I told them, so I'll leave them out of this record. Now I need to reorient myself on what's going on in the world. Oh, newspaper. Superman's attacking the military? I'm not ready for this.
Thank you, Jordan. Or Jack, I should say, I suppose. The Creeper will come out and stop Superman, I'm sure.
That's awesome.
For Superman's powers, I don't think we had any new powers or weaknesses this episode. And I thought about reading them all off, but I think we're going to keep going because, spoilers, Brian, Superman continues to appear in these shows. So we're not going to cap off his potential power set just yet.
Cool.
But yeah, he had the red sun, but that's been on there for a long time. I did think about when he's going to bust down the door and a bunch of gas comes out. And it's green, so I assume it's a kryptonite gas or something, or he's at least weak enough that normal gas would get him or something. But then when he's like, oh, we got to get Supergirl, he does the same thing and shoulders down the door, but this time no gas comes out. They're like, whatever, we got to move on with the episode and not worry about this.
Or they weren't as worried about Supergirl as they were about Superman.
I guess so, yeah.
Fair point.
This little teenager is in this room and she can't even sit up, so it's fine.
Yeah.
How strong was Superman in this episode 1 through 10? We pick a number and we pick an object from the episode. So like, I'm going to give Superman a pretty high score. We usually say we save a 10 for if he like saved the planet. And in this case, even though he did, well, I don't know if you count this because he stopped being a planet destroying man. I'll give him like a 9. I'll give him a solid 9.
Well, he stopped the Zeta beams with his bare hands.
Exactly. Yeah, he sure did. Yeah. I'll give him 9 Lex Luthor jaw wires out of 10.
I'm gonna sound like a copycat, but I was thinking about this earlier, and I also want to give him a 9 because I think that Darkseid fight wasn't easy. I'm gonna give him 9 brainless Darkseid worshippers out of 10.
Okay. The peasant people. Yeah.
The peasant people.
Do either of you want to give Superman a rating out of 10 on his strength this episode?
9 fried Granny Goodnesses.
There you go. With a side of chips. Yeah. Rich, you got one?
Oh, gosh.
On the spot.
We have to make you do the silly things. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 9 falling Calabacs.
Oh! He's still falling, some say. Yeah. He's falling for 30 minutes. Yeah. Where is Clayface in this episode? He's always there somewhere.
He was the floor.
He's the
Final
floor
answer.
that Superman picks
Final
up.
answer. He's the bit of floor that Superman picks up.
There you go.
Okay, I'm good with that. From the Movies to Watch Before You Die podcast, we have Thoughts of the Week with Dylan Pollock.
Coming up next, it's another guest appearance from our favorite visiting superhero.
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
I'm sorry, you guys. It's more embarrassing and funny when Stan is here because he's just deadpanned the whole time. He's like, I will have none of this silliness or whatever. Dylan, here it is.
It's time for the Thoughts of the Week from Dylan Pollock on Legacy Part 2, or Good Luck Getting Over These Trust Issues, Metropolis. I wish in the montage of Superman getting brainwashed, we saw Darkseid making him believe he's his father. Like, Darkseid and Superman are playing catch, watching a baseball game together. Darkseid's teaching him how to ride a bike. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. That would have been funny. Darkseid showing Clark how to shave with their Omega Beam / heat vision. Also, I just pictured Superman in prison being like, Lois, they even had the red sunlight in the showers. It was awful. Just awful. Moving on. I will say this episode is one of Darkseid's hardest hitting lines. Had I known one human's death would have pained you so, I would have killed more. Michael Ironside, you fucking legend. But then he gets whooped by Superman, who throws Darkseid down like, come get your boy, Apocalyptians. I just love the way that, like, he's just tossed aside like trash. You know what's not garbage? The question of the week. James' favorite part. If you were in that final fight, would you rather lose your hands or your eyes?
Oh my God.
Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.
Ooh. That's really tough. I've had so many nightmares about something happening to my hands or fingers or whatever, not being able to draw or edit or all these things. I guess I'll go, but then I can't draw or edit without eyes. I don't know.
What if you do one of each?
Yeah, okay. I'll take my left eye or my right eye and my left hand. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a better answer than that. Brian, what do you pick? You guys don't have to answer this one.
I might say hands because I feel like everything that I do, while it's like very handy, I feel like I could probably figure out a way of doing with like prosthetics. You know,
Sure.
That's the thing. I broke my wrist and was able to draw with my left a little bit, and then realizing that drawing is in here. It's a hand eye. Well,
doesn't work for me. I've tried.
Handless eye coordination. But it could be, you just someplace to put a pencil and move around. You can just brace something and figure out how to do it again. So they would take a relearning process and everything, but
there's always feet.
Right, exactly. So the senses.
As long as you got
really
your left foot,
thing.
right?
Yeah. But that notion of a montage of Darkseid and Superman, his son, is actually kind of funny. I like that idea of like redoing the Andy Griffith theme, but with Darkseid and Superman fishing on the fishing hole.
No, that's so good. Yeah, I do love that. Like, in the part one, I think it is where we see the essentially the recreation of the Superman intro, but you have Darkseid and Granny there and that kind of thing, and Darkseid's just like smiling throughout the whole thing, and it's just so uncanny and like, this isn't supposed to be happening. He's like, my boy, everything the light touches is your kingdom, kind of a thing. And
one day, son, all this will be yours.
Right? Yeah, all of this fire and rocks and dirt. Yeah.
Is there an
cool,
alternative dimension where that actually happens? Where Superman's just like, "Come on, Daddy, you and me. You want to go get some ice cream at the corner store?"
I'll never explain what this means because we don't really know what it means. But do we think this episode was
Books or hip hop?
I will say, to me, I think it was a pretty hip hop episode. We don't have to explain why we feel that way, but that's how I feel.
See, I'm on the other side. I think it's more books.
Dang. Okay. It was kind of biblical in some
Don't
way.
explain it, Jamie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to say, yeah.
But that's also not why I think that.
Okay, sure. And are we putting this on our Superman the
What
Animated
about
Series?
Dan and Mitch?
Oh, sure. Do you guys think it's books or hip hop?
These are the tough hitting questions that we ask on this podcast.
It's just where you feel in your heart. Yeah.
Hip hop.
Okay.
I'm gonna say hip hop because the book thing that they scooped us on, I still haven't gotten over that.
That's okay. Yeah, you have to distance it from books as much as possible. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, Brian. I already know where I'm putting this on my top 10. I was looking at this earlier. I'm going to put this for our Superman top 10 specifically. I'm going to put it above A Little Piece of Home, but under Ghost in the Machine. I still really love Ghost in the Machine as a little package.
Yeah.
And since this was just part 2 that we're putting on here, we're still just putting part 2 on here. I think we'll make that change now that Superman's over. My top 10 in reverse is Little Girl Lost, Main Man, Part 2, Little Piece of Home, Legacy Part 2, now at number 7, Ghost in the Machine, Two's a Crowd, The Way of All Flesh, Last Son of Krypton, Late Mr. Kent, and then World's Finest at the top. So you're welcome, Rich. I put World's Finest. Which Brian did also. He has World's Finest as number 1. Yeah.
This is a really tough one for me. And it nailed me with the ending.
Mm-hmm.
That gives it a lot more weight. I'm gonna put it at number 4. I was battling 3 or 4, but
you have it higher than I do. I do really love this episode, and I think, we don't count the part 1, part 2. If it aired separately, it gets listed separately. If it was the complete package, I might put it maybe 1, 2 higher or whatever, but just on its own, like, it's very good. There were just some really solid early on Superman episodes that we were like really admired. And it's been a while since we've, no offense, had like a super solid Superman episode. So
no, I think this is really top. Like I was battling with this for 3rd place with The Last Son of Krypton.
Mm-hmm.
And I think especially as a standalone, if this was a part 1 and part 2, I think I'd still put it at number 4.
Are you putting it on your Yop 10, which is our overall top 10 of all the shows so far, which I think I am doing. It's also going at number 7 on mine, because it's underneath Over the Edge, Growing Pains, Late Mr. Kent, Rebirth, Robin's Reckoning, and World's Finest. I don't think I can put it above any of those, but I'm putting it right below all of those.
Ooh.
Which is above Mad Love and On Leather Wings now on my list. So
see, this is my problem, is that Mad Love is my number 10. Riddler's Reform. Oh God, Late Mr. Kent is number 7.
I don't. This is why I don't make lists.
Right?
Yeah, I know it's tough. It's tough. I mean, it was hard. It was hard before with just BTAS episodes, and then when we start meshing everything together to try to compare them,
because I just with Apocalypse Now and the funeral, Dan Turpin's funeral, and the it's like I there's a place in my heart for that like puts it above a big moment.
I have like the one that I've kicked off of my like top 10 list that I'm like always begrudging is Beware the Gray Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's one of those like it's not probably the highest. It probably shouldn't be like one of the highest, but there's just something about that extra impact of like where Adam West was in his career at that point, and to have him playing like this kind of like washed up. Oh my God, that one like hit me so hard, and I just always kind of begrudging that I moved that off the top 10. I don't know. It's such a good episode, but yeah, these things move around.
The last thing we do is the Balderarchy. A long time ago, I realized that almost every single Superman villain is bald or balding. And so we've been making a ranking list. And I said this a couple episodes. I said, I'm really glad we have Rich and Dan here to help us with the final Balderarchy ranking. Play the song for probably the final time. Here it is.
He's bald, I'm bald, we're all bald. But who's the baddest bald of all? It's James and Brian's final call. The Balderarchy.
May it rest in peace. Thank you, Eric, for that theme, by the way.
Thanks, Eric.
Now, I have already ranked all the ones that we've done over the course of the Superman show. All we have to do right now to finalize the ranking is who are we picking for the Balderarchy, the baddest bald of all in this Legacy Part 2. Dan Riba. So bad. He was pointing to himself, audio listeners. I didn't say it yet.
Are you the baddest, Dan?
In some ways, yeah.
Okay.
Shut your mouth. Talk about Dan Riba.
Just talk about
Dan. Yeah. Dan. Yeah. I have to make that song now. Sorry. So I guess if we're choosing actual characters here, we're choosing between Darkseid, Lex Luthor. I think we put General Hardcastle on it because he's technically bald under the hat. I also realized that we had once given it to Granny Goodness because there's a Superman animated series tie-in comic that shows she's wearing a wig the whole time. So technically we could give it to her. I'm going to vote for Darkseid for this. I think it's pretty obvious. But
yeah,
we gave it to him last time too. Mm-hmm. which was my assumption. So that brings us, here's the deal. I've ranked these 5th place through 1st place of like who actually could win the Balderarchy by the amount of times we've given it to them. But I want to, when I get to the top few people, I'd like to have Dan and Rich give their pick a bald bad guy from the Superman the Animated Series. I'll give them 2 extra points when you pick them, and that'll potentially shift them around the ranking here. So tied for 5th place with 1 point each, we have several characters here. Mr. Mxyzptlk, the Toy Man, Weather Wizard, which we only gave because he was balding. He was the baldest character in that episode. Granny Goodness, as I just mentioned. Carcole, his demon boy. He didn't have any hair. Corey Mills, who was the prototype for the steel armor. He was completely bald. The Promethean, big rock boy duct taped to an asteroid. The Preserver / Eggy Wrinkles, as we've been calling him. McGurk, the statue. Unity Hive Mind Circus Ball Mother is who we've listed there as the Unity, the big Unity alien. The Girl Guardian of Oa, only because she was the only potentially bad character that was bald in that episode. Bizarro's Crypto Dog Pug Alien Monster thing. Toyman's Kangaroo Robot. The Serpent in the Main Man, the Carnarite, Phantom Zone Monster, Luminous's Holograms.
This is too big of a list, Jamie.
The Lex Statue, the Big Ass Amoebas and Monkey Fun, Robots in Absolute Power, the entire police force in Late Mr. Kent, Lois Lane's Nightmare in Target, Bald Thug that looks like Mr. Clean in Superman's Pal, Bruno Mannheim as he dies, Ubu, the Riddler, and in last, we have Small Professor X, who was from the Volcana episode. He was the little person that ran the metahuman thing. That was all of our 1 point people. That's the biggest section there.
That's insane, Jamie.
We only have 2 people or 1 people per rest here. This is where I would like, I guess, Dan and Rich to weigh in on. If you think through the main bad guys of the show, if you would pick a baddest bald of all from Superman the Animated Series, who would be your top pick?
And Lex is not on the list.
Oh, he is. We'll get there. I want to give him extra points if you pick Lex.
I mean, I don't know who. I mean, yeah, Darkseid, Lex, are pretty much like the guys,
Yeah.
I mean, I love Mixie. I think Mxyzptlk would be, he's omnipotent, but he's also just annoying.
Well, I mean, if you pick Mixie, he gets 2 extra points, but it doesn't bump him up the list really at all. So I guess he would be tied for 3rd place if you wanted to do that. But
Rich, have you got an
Rich
opinion?
looks like he's thinking. Yeah.
Well, it's sort of a balancing act for me because Lex is in more episodes and does sort of like more bad things overall. But Darkseid is the worst. And so it's sort of like, I think for the DNA of the show, probably it's more Lex, but
okay.
I am partial to Darkseid.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like,
yeah.
Well, what's your gut say?
Yeah.
If you had to pick one.
I'd have to pick Darkseid because I wrote a bunch of Darkseid episodes.
There you go. Awesome.
And my love of Kirby and the fact that, he was sort of like this, from the get-go of their series, he was always intended to be sort of this background threat.
Are you saying you're also picking Darkseid, Dan?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now tied for 4th place with 2 points each are Parasite and Livewire, who we counted because her hair is electricity. That's not really hair. Tied for 3rd place with 3 points each are Metallo and Brainiac. Metallo having technically hair, but it's made of Metallo now, so is it really hair, 2nd place now with 7 is Lex Luthor, which makes our winner, because of you guys, with 8 points, Darkseid himself. Just give that button to it. Thank you guys for helping participate in the Balderarchy.
I think that's fair.
By the way, one thing that I noticed when we were talking about tools of the trade and Darkseid's first shot when he's established, and we see that sort of him turning around and we see him from behind, that the MCU established Thanos.
The same way.
Yeah. And of course, we all know that Darkseid was the inspiration for Thanos.
Mhm.
He came first.
I mean, that's the same kind of deal as when, that Avengers post-credit scene happened. I had no idea who Thanos was at the time, and everyone started freaking, oh my God, they're going to do Thanos. That's the exact same thing that happened here with the podcast. Everyone went, Darkseid, Brian. Aren't you so excited? And you're like, yeah, like you said, I have no idea who that is. Whatever. Why is this exciting at all? Yeah.
But by the way, there is a funny story about that design. When Ed Asner first saw the design, he thought, "Oh, it's Barbara Bush," and that's how he played it as Barbara Bush. So,
oh my God, that's amazing.
Waiting.
Wait.
Walk sign is on to press record. Walk sign is on to press record. They just put some of those in this here town.
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep it a secret anymore.
You've said it so many times.
Detective work, so this is really hard. And I wasn't expecting it. I went and pushed the button and wait, and I jumped out of the skin because I'm like, that's not something that happens here. It's not every corner either. It's just some of them, which must be the most high trafficked walk across the street spots or something. I don't know.
Right. I like it because it makes it so people only push the button. Well,
14 times instead of 15.
Why do people listener?
Wait.
Here's your thing. You can press the button more than once.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have pressed it once, you are in a queue in the computer system, and pressing it more won't make it happen faster.
Hey, it's the mail. We're here to do mail. As way too long of an episode as it is, I'm going to press the button now.
Yeah. That yop. That one small extra yop. Put it over.
We drop
what we drop?
Our weekly yop.
Oh yeah, those.
Into the comment box.
Dan.
There sure was a lot.
Now Jamie's mad.
Dan.
Too bad we're all.
At least I am.
Just Dylan Pollock.
It's the kooky spell that you play this song now. Jamie's Dan. Morph into a different guy.
Cooper was asking me today why we don't get with the times.
Which is what?
Yeah, and I said, what do you mean by that? And he said, well, why don't you have female time?
I think that every time I said, we got to record male, as if it's like we record any other gender or whatever.
We should just have a non-binary. We should have a non-binary time.
Yeah, I think so. And does she even say male in the whole comment? But sure, no, the word male is never said in the entire song.
Well done, Kimmy.
We're just now figuring this out 120 episodes after you made this song, but whatever. If you'd like to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of World's Finest Part 3, you can send a 60-second voice message or a short-ass email. I'm not reading anything. I'm so memory. It's an email for your ass if you were confused. Bat-Wagonpod@gmail.com. That's the email address for mail, where we read mail. Please don't spoil anything past this episode for Brian if you do so. I'm counting on you, Ryan Hipp, who's the first one that I'm going to play, to not spoil anything. It's called One More Final. I Need You.
It was in the mid-70s in North Carolina over the weekend, and now on Monday we're in the goddamn 30s, and ooh boy.
What were you doing
to circle back one final time to something I've brought up a lot over this journey we've all been on together.
Living in Florida.
Is something that means a lot to me about this version of Superman is showing this character with all this power just be a guy and go through emotions, especially here in the finale of anger and sadness and guilt and doubt and uncertainty. But with that little bit of hope that's in that final scene, which gets me every time. I think there's something really meaningful and important in that, and I'm glad they did that in this version of the character. And also, the state of things that WB and DC will probably never see Darkseid and Superman face off in a movie, but I'm glad we got it here the way it's done here. This will be the final voice message. I'll explain next.
Oh,
what?
So ominous. It's like the episode where he just goes, what are we going to do about this? Well, we'll figure it out. We'll do it later. I want to know what that means, though, Ryan. You got to follow up.
What?
This is from Linola Cola. Tug on the Super Cape. I am many things, Yoppie dudes, but here I am the listener. Well, we finally made it to the ultimate, that means last, episode of Legacy Part 2, a.k.a. this episode is retroactively dedicated to Yopton Legacy Milkman Allen Part 2. Lois got head from Superman. That's because his neck disappears. Honestly, this episode, going for all killer, no filler on pacing and action, did well to end the series on a higher note. I felt so good to see Superman act with nothing to lose against the army grunts that shot Supergirl, the parademons, Granny Big Mouth, the furries, and finally Darkseid. Hopefully a listener or two... Granny Big Mouth. I'm going through changes. Hopefully a listener or two can have y'all revisit the Darkseid eps without the unnecessary hype we foisted on the ruler of Apocalypse. Now, lastly, no ejected shells in this episode, with the final count of shell ejection sightings in STAS at 5. Lasak Parts 2 and 3, Fun and Games, Two's a Crowd, Heavy Metal, Legacy Part 1. And
5 shells or 5 episodes?
Episodes with shells.
Okay,
I need the total shell count. From here on out, we'll be swaying it up Batman Beyond style. I'll get back to y'all faster than Supergirl's recovery and travel to Apocalypse till we up again. Yeah, she got shot in the chest and then shows up with her arm in a sling. I'm okay, actually.
Her chest damage goes to her arms.
That's true. It could be a rib thing. I don't know how it works. This is from Ryan Jones, 8381. New listener button commence. Hello, James from Team Rocket. That's me. You have no idea how accurate that is. Will you do a Will It Canon episode on Batman the Animated Series times TMNT crossover comic? I saw this early. We did do a few videos on that. This was a 2012 Nickelodeon Ninja Turtles cartoon that crossed over with Batman the Animated Series in a 6-issue comic like a decade ago for some reason. And we did a timeline video on that when we interviewed a couple of the people that worked on it. So if you go to the Watchtower Database channel, you can find those things. I don't know if we'll do a Will It Canon full episode, but spoilers, we're going to be starting to do some small Will It Canon shorts for things that don't get a full video or deserve a full video or whatever.
Because you don't want to watch a 30-minute, or let's be real, it's a Jamie video. You don't want to watch an hour and a half video.
Not this time, not for that subject. Yeah.
You just want the fast food equivalent of Watchtower Database videos.
This is from Smurfalicious. That must be a new one. You guys talking about editing software reminds me of my experience with music notation software. I started using MuseScore in high school because it was free. I've used that before. But it actually had pretty much all the functionality I needed. Over the years, especially in college, people were like, why don't you upgrade to Finale or Sibelius? And I'm like, no, I'm good. Now I'm 4 years into my teaching career, and I still use MuseScore for arrangements and writing out parts and all kinds of stuff. Free doesn't mean less useful. I agree. I mean, much like with camera equipment or whatever, it's like, what's in front of the camera matters more than the camera itself is what I'm trying to say. So I feel like that applies to these things. If you need to do a thing and it can do it, the end. I had Finale for a long time, and then Finale just changed over, I'm pretty sure, to a very similar Adobe style subscription thing. And
God,
so
can we just
I'm not going to do that. Yeah. Speaking of, Yopptower Database says, about to wrap up another series, eh? It's never too late to quit and end the bid already. Maybe someone could take their own fucking advice. No, we love you, Yopptower. Take our love. You can't kill us.
I can't help but notice that we sent out a Valentine's card last year to the Yopptower, and we never heard anything back. That's kind of cruel.
I don't remember doing that.
Yeah, we did. It was a big heart-shaped card, remember?
Oh, now I remember as you're describing it, yeah.
Yeah. And
we sent it to Yopptower Drive, little red wagon on the corner of Big Bus, Oregon, whatever we said our address is, but the inverse of that, 90210.
Yeah. Big blue wagon, not on the corner.
Yeah. A small blue wagon, missing 3 wheels. Cooney Phoenix says... And also says, can you guys you can talk over the Synyop song. Don't worry, LMAO. It's your podcast after all, and I think it's funny. Okay, good. And while I can't prove being the first listener, I know I was there within minutes of the first pod episode being uploaded. Okay.
What?
Okay.
What?
That's
Is it
good.
Cooney?
That's good.
Is Cooney Phoenix the OG listener?
It could be. If you want to challenge them, write in. A Comic Banana Man says, wait. Okay.
Wait, like the push button on the walk sign?
Wait. Okay sign is on to Banana Man.
Wait for what?
I don't know.
God, there's so many questions in the male segment. Female segment. Non-binary segment.
Yeah, this is the non-binary segment. This is from Eric LeBeau, Legacy Part 2. With tear-stained eyes, I sadly said goodbye as I waved and wished you farewell. I think this is our Balderarchy farewell email here.
From baldness we are born, and in baldness we lay to rest. We've gathered here today to mourn the passing of the Balderarchy theme. Now, I didn't know the Balderarchy theme personally, but speaking with those who did, it's clear that it touched many lives. I would like to invite Eric to speak.
Thank you, Father, Dr. Wrestler, Farmer, Wrestling Official Yopton. You know, the Balderarchy started off as this silly little thing. I didn't know it would become what it became. It brought me a lot in the time that we had it. I transformed into a chimpanzee, made new friends at Endergang, got a potential target on my back from LexCorp, and now I have a roommate who is my best friend, whether I like it or not. I know I'll miss the Balderarchy theme a lot, but it'll live on as an earworm in our heads, a funny memory, and hopefully in James's soundboard for whenever else Superman shows back up in the DCAU.
Mm-hmm.
It'll have a legacy. Thank you.
Croc, you had some words as well?
Wrong! Well, thank you for everything, Balderarchy. And until next time, Bat-Wags, keep calm and yab on.
Damn, this is such a, like, why is everything so sad and poignant? But thank you.
Sometimes it's just got to be like that.
It does got to be like that. It's the end of another thing. I get to draw another little doll that you're throwing behind yourself on the logo. Little Superman one. This is from Kale, Dear Berkey and Jamberry Sauce. Size, indeterminate, as it was in syringes, which seemed to change in size. Color, radioactive medical grade green. Current location, unknown, probably still at that military base. Previously from whatever private stash Lex Luthor seems to have accumulated. No wonder I can't find any in the U.S. Vibe, thank God I found you, Mariah Carey. And on that note, I will be leaving for a brief vacation over the holidays, even with nothing to actually exhibit. Running this place takes a lot out of me, especially when trying to hunt down possible leads. So I've decided I deserve at least a little time off, give myself time to regroup, and reconsider my path going forward. Until next time, Kale, founder, curator, and director of operations at the Kryptonite Preservation Society. Thank you, Kale.
Enjoy that vacation.
Everyone's bits are wrapping up. I don't know. it's a little bit depressing, actually. Like everyone has to either come up with new stuff or we won't hear from them again. And I hope the latter is not the case. This is from Dr. Derp, Legacy Part 2. You fight by Darkseid's rules and you'll kill someone and it won't be him. Let it go. No other sentence in the entire DCAU haunts me the way this one does. Darkseid, fascism incarnate, is finally defeated in a dramatic brawl that would put the greatest epics to shame. And yet Darkseid is not dethroned. Fascism is not dethroned. Because you can't unseat fascism according to the rules of fascism. You can't dethrone hate according to the rules of hate. You cannot bring justice by surrendering to the impulse of vengeance. Years ago, when I went out of my way to experience the DCAU on my own terms, a journey that led me to this podcast, I was wrestling with the question of what it means to be just in a world with no shared consensus on defining justice. A world where, these are heavy, man. A world where it feels like the bad guys are always winning and true heroes are few and far between. I suspect it's a question most people are wrestling with at the end of 2025 as well. If media like the new Superman film is anything to go by, it's not hard to see the original intent of this episode as a season premiere rather than a series finale. I once heard someone describe the Studio Ghibli film Only Yesterday as a narrative about starting the journey to self-growth rather than the complete self-growth narrative. I see that here as well. Perhaps this would have been more satisfying as a prelude to one last Estes arc rather than an open ending for another DCAU show to pick up on. But perhaps it's just as valuable, if not more so, with the unresolved ending. Thank you,
Mind the
Doc.
spoilers there, listener.
Yeah, just a wee bit, but you know. What did you think, they were never going to talk about it again? I don't know.
Well, it's giving me the idea that I'm guessing Justice League, because Superman's in that, I think.
I don't know.
Is going to like start off with a like, oh, Superman, that guy, he did that whole thing, remember?
I will say it does not do that.
Whatever, Jamie, what do you know?
Explicitly, but you know. Legacy Part 2 from Kyle. It's the end of Superman as we know it, and I feel fine.
One thing I find incredibly frustrating about Legacy Part 2 is it really feels like finally they have a handle on what kind of Superman they want him to be, and finally Brian now knows what Darkseid has meant to Superman the Animated Series fans. I'm curious if Brian is more frustrated by this or glad that Superman is over, and I couldn't help feeling when finishing this episode that I do really wish we got another season, and that inspired, I'm stealing this from Dylan, my question of the week, which is, what is a show you absolutely adored that got canceled way too soon? Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
One of the shows we haven't gotten to yet, but you might already know which one I mean.
Zeta Project.
It's the Zeta Project, but it's not really my real answer. There was a Battlestar Galactica spinoff called Caprica, which is the name of one of the planets in the show. And it was like a prequel that was pretty cool for like 3 episodes. And then it got canceled like while they were making the show.
Oh,
and
no.
The final episode of the show is just this like extremely fast paced wrap up to everything, including like a montage of like, here's what we might have done with like 3 more seasons to like catch up to Galactica. So it was just a really stupid, like, I haven't watched it since it first aired. So it's, been like, I don't know, almost 20 years, but I've been wanting to watch it again and see, would I actually still be this mad about the ending? I think Firefly is the obvious like big answer, but I never watched Firefly. So I don't know if you have.
Right. No, not yet. Yeah. And it's funny, like, I think for the most part, I'm more upset when shows continue.
Yeah, further than they should, yeah.
Yeah, like Fleabag is one of my great answers of a show
Stranger
that like
Things.
almost went Fleabag, like not that it almost went a little bit long, but it's just
Yeah.
like, I'm so glad it ended where it did.
Yeah.
Over the Garden Wall, as much as I love it and have it tattooed on my body,
Mhm.
I wouldn't want a season 2 because like it's
Yeah.
just it's a good story as it is. And I think we just like we do live in a now time where people are just like, oh, that thing worked, let's keep milking it because
Yeah, just
people
do more.
will watch it
Mhm.
because now they're invested, and even if it's not good, they just keep going with it. It's like, no, let's just do good shows that are a season, maybe 2, the end. Why can we
Yeah.
not the end anything anymore? Season 10, season 20. The Simpsons need to fucking stop.
Oh my God. Yeah. Family Guy. Yeah. I just watched a recent episode of Family Guy. I think I may have
Is
said
Family
this
Guy
to you
still
already.
making new episodes?
As far as I know.
I can't imagine how bad that must be.
I had an unfortunate, like, I've been watching like half this episode and I haven't laughed yet. I'm going to see if I laugh ever, and I didn't. And I hated that because, like, as much as you can make fun of Family Guy, so stupid and bad, it's like there's still at least a joke usually per episode that I'm like, okay, that was actually pretty good. But I didn't. It just felt like, I don't want to watch this anymore. I'm done with this. Yeah. Leandro Botanelli. Hey, Bat-Wagon, Wagbat.
Hey.
I don't know which is which because neither of those are a J, but I'll take Wagbat. So I was already into a Tim Curry mood since last weekend I attended a special screening of Rocky Horror Picture Show due to its 50th anniversary. Jesus
Yep.
Christ.
They were doing
You
that
can
in
ima-
Portland, and I wanted to go, but I didn't.
You can imagine my surprise when I heard him doing 17 accents at once on this episode. And beyond. What I could never imagine is how fast you nicknamed him Puto. I was laughing my ass off the whole episode every time you said it. Really caught me off guard with how unexpected it was. I quite liked the episode because of how tightly connected the plot of the last Curare episode, and it showed the development of Terry and Max's partnership. I was thinking that if Commissioner Gordon should let Batman know every time they're doing a sting operation, then Batman should have let her know the second they figure out the fucking bomb at the museum so the police can send a bomb squad or whatever. That's a very good point.
Oh,
Love the pod. Great
yeah.
job as always. Stay yappy. Thank you. I forgot that the subject line said comments on Mucho Puto. This is from Tip Tapricot. Contemplations on Legacy Part 2. Tip Tapricot finally sends a voice message after 16 years of not doing so.
Wow, I can't believe that I'm finally writing in for the end of Superman, and this is Contemplations on Legacy Part 2. I think that Dana Delaney has great voice acting in this episode. The animation is really messed up, though. Like, I was noticing the proportions were really off. I haven't been watching as much Superman, so I don't know if that's the same for everything else, but it was an interesting dichotomy from what I was hearing, great voice acting, to what I was seeing, bad animation. I think it's really funny funny that when Superman's coming to fight Darkseid, they decide to barricade the throne room? Because, like, what's that going to do? They want him to come fight them, so, like, why did they do that? I mean, okay, maybe it's to preserve Caliban's honor, because he does take L number, like, 1 billion right as the fight starts. I like that they name-dropped the episode. I like that there's blood. I think it's a smart move to seal Darkseid's eye beams into his face, but I am confused about the disintegration properties, because if it was hitting his hands, it wouldn't have hurt him anyway. I mean, his nipples are gone, though, afterwards. Maybe it took Clark's nipples. Whoa.
Oh, shit.
And I like the ending where the slaves carry Darkseid off. I think it's very eerie and a poignant end. Woo.
Some say Caliban still falling to
Falls
this day.
today, yeah. We heard the thump, but I think he was just going through level 1 of the crowd. Father, as he's falling.
That's so sad. Like, I guess there's got to be a punching bag, but like, poor Caliban.
Yeah. Keen Machine sent in a message. It just says, I was the first listener. That is all. Keep it keen. Keen Machine. So Cooney's
okay,
got
so it's a Keen versus Cooney.
Words. Yeah, I believe either one of those. So
yeah.
Last
there
verse
there is a possibility. There's a universe where they both pressed play at the exact same time.
That's true. It's definitely not Mark Aquino, though, who's last first, who sent quite the lengthy mail here, but I think it's worth reading because we always read him at the end. You know what I'm saying?
And it's the end.
It's the end of Superman, and we stop the podcast. It says Legacy Part 2, or The Whites in Lex's Eyes. And here we are, friends, the final episode of Superman the Animated Series. Personally, I loved it. The pacing never lapsed. The animation was terrific. The musical score from the Queen herself, Shirley Walker, was superb, especially during Clark's final showdown with Darkseid. The performances from the entire cast were great. I find it to be an engaging watch all the way through. My Dylan Pollock-esque thoughts. The government and military ignoring due process and just going straight to xenophobic thinking? Boy, does that feel too accurate. General Hardcastle must have been on one of those digital detox retreat vacations when Darkseid's forces invaded Earth last time. Lois using her father's military clearance to rescue Clark and Kara was clever. I'm going to start saying Kara now, by the way. I realize I've been saying Kara this whole time because of Battlestar Galactica. So I'm a fake fan. I'm so sorry. And a good callback to Monkey Fun, but even with the knowledge of remembering previous episodes, one could understandably make the argument that it's a convenient plot device. Oh, it says play the sound, James. Where did I ever put it on here? Because we don't use it very often anymore.
Twinkly, just play the twinklies.
It's here it is.
And we can say
plot device. Thank you. Except now I use that as the transitional like male song. We're still in the mail. It's still the mail where she says male in the song. That would make a certain type of viewer say, well,
hey, this is the non-binary.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry. We're changing it. We're changing it. We're changing it.
Kimmy, sorry. You don't get to choose.
They drop. Well, why couldn't she do that before, during, such and such? I personally don't want to be that certain type of viewer. Oh, stripe of viewer. She definitely rocked Lex's shit when she tased him, that's for sure. Upon first watch of this two-parter, I asked, where was Batman in all of this? Why couldn't he step in? Just a few years ago, I actually wrote a bit of headcanon fanfic explaining where Batman was during the events of this two-parter. And it also kind of doubles as explaining... Right. He was 80 years old in Malaysia in a storm. He couldn't get there. Where certain characters are in future installments, but that's for those who are interested in reading it and whose names aren't Brian Maneely. It got spoilers in it. Anywho, as I mentioned before, this ends on a note that echoes the plot of this year's Superman movie, with much of the world unsure if they can still trust him or not. In certain cases, though, you actually can understand the trepidation, primarily in the case of Professor Hamilton. It's a really good bit of writing that I appreciated. No one man should have that much power. What you don't know is that the news broadcast cut just before Lex could finish his point. So here's what he actually said. No one man should have that much power. Except me, baby. Your boy wants that power. I want it. Me. I deserve it on top of all the billions and billions of dollars I have. He then proceeded to throw the kind of crash-out temper tantrum you'd expect from a 3-year-old who was told by their parent they aren't getting candy at the supermarket. Lex screamed bloody murder, threw stuff, laid on the ground, kicked at the air, the whole nine. It really is a shame that this didn't get another season. I do genuinely believe that this show deserved as many episodes as the original run of BTAS. Regardless, I'm still satisfied with what we did get, a terrific show that put its own unique stamp on the world's most iconic superhero and carved its own place in the character's already storied legacy. I've joked many times that I'm this Yoppie community's resident S-TAS defender. I think I said ass test just now, but that kind of works. But in all honesty, I'm more than satisfied to own that title. My personal 5 episodes, favorite episodes are as follows: Lasak, The Main Man, Mixius Pixelated, The Late Mr. Kent, and World's Finest.
Yeah.
Champagne toast to the creative team behind the show: Tim, Deanie, Burnett, Murakami, Riba, Fogel, Berkowitz, Gaeta, Romano, etc., and all who contributed to this series and helped make it what it is. And as always, boss biggest bear hugs to the #1 podcast hosts in this here multiverse of ours: James, Make Money, Get Money All Day Long Strecker, and Brian, Precious Bean Manili. I already raised a champagne toast to guests Dan, Riba, and Rich Fogel, but hey, they deserve bear hugs too. Praise to our Lord and Savior Dylan Pollock. Keep up the great work on your own podcast, and remember to tell Gab that she rules. Likewise to all his loyal disciples: Scar Louie 1, Batgirl, Fangirl, Scotty Cameron, Wency 209, Tip Tapricot, Keen Machine, Jordan Newman, Zane Beatty, Chris Knife. I love that Chris Knife is still in there. Lanola Cola, Juan Pedro, Ashley Touchin, Scrudge, The Banana Family, Hex Lex, Eric LeBeau, Austin Trousers, Legacy, Slacks Payne, Ryan Hip, Peter Pantaloons, Nick Sorensen, Kyle Naranya, and of course all of the awesome sauce listeners of this Yoppie community of ours. Y'all the absolute best. Don't you ever forget that. It's fitting that the first DC Comics show to air on the CW was a Superman series, this very show, and the last one to air on the CW was also a Superman series, the eternally underrated Superman and Lois, which I can't recommend enough. Seriously, it's great stuff. Hope all of our American Yoppie peoples have a safe, happy, and warm Thanksgiving. Always thankful to be a part of this fun cabal of folks. And of course, as we pull away from our Superman and Lois holding each other on the roof of the Daily Planet, we say a bittersweet farewell to the DCAU's Man of Tomorrow. But it's not farewell forever. We'll see our beloved bowl of hot soup again. In the meantime, it's back to the past, future, past Samurai Jack, or whatever the joke is. Till next week. Whoosh! I just flew away, baby. And a little emoji. Thank you, Mark. We always appreciate the kind of finale you give the non-binary section of the podcast. It's very nice. It always makes me feel like I'm actually drawing the segment to a close. If I just and then Keen said I was the first listener. All right, back to the rest of the show.
You think Keen couldn't wrap up the non-binary section?
Well, not by that sentence. I think Keen could wrap up anything he wants, if you know what I'm saying. He sends us stuff.
Yeah.
So now what?
This is the part of the show where we talk about the last movies that we watched.
Oh, I watched Predator.
I watched The Martian.
Okay, back to the ending. I'm going to close out the episode now so we can let these fine gentlemen go, and also Brian. We're now halfway through the podcast, Brian. I will tell you that. That is our halfway point, was Legacy Part 2.
Wow.
We still have just as many episodes as we just watched. It was 186.
Who are you going to get to do the last half of the podcast with?
I don't know. That's a good point. I got to show it to somebody else now.
You have to find some other, virgin.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. That's the show, everybody. Thank you to everyone listed in the description for their musical themes, helping making this podcast as yoppy as it can be. Go check out their stuff. Thank you, of course, to you, the listener, for listening. And thank you, Dan and Rich, for sitting through all of our silly bullshit as we go through Superman the Animated Series finale.
Yeah, Dan and Rich, thanks for being here. This is ridiculous. It means a lot to us. I know it means a lot to our listeners too. And yeah. So thank you so much for sharing all your info and knowledge and just hanging out and being cool.
Thanks for giving some love to Superman.
Yes, exactly.
We'll bring you back for other episodes, I'm sure. But they won't take nearly as long as this one did. So thank you guys very much. We will see you later, and thank you everyone for listening. And the end. We never know how to end these. Goodbye.
Bye, listener.
Bye.
I am many things, Kal-El, but here I am God.
Don't, Clark.
Kara!
You fight by Darkseid's rules, you're gonna kill somebody. And it won't be him. Let it go. Let's go home.
Home.
In the wake of this week's dramatic developments, we asked the people of Metropolis how they felt about the Man of Steel.
If you ask me, the bum ought to go back where he came from.
I used to consider him my friend, but now...
Superman saved the world dozens of times. We owe him a second chance.
No one man should have that much power.
He's a traitor and a menace.
I'm locking my bedroom door at night.
Don't listen to them.
No. They're right. I did lose control, and it scares me. If I can't trust myself, how can I win back the trust of an entire planet?
One person at a time.
Jump on the Bat-Wagon is hosted and edited by yours truly, James Strecker, and co-hosted by yours Briley, Brian Maneely. This podcast is brought to you by the Watchtower Database, your one-stop shop for all things DC Animated Universe. To send us a Yoppie beverage, nab some sick show merch, or support us on Patreon, you can visit the links in today's show notes. And thank you very much. Please leave us a 5-star review on your app of choice and follow us wherever you listen to never miss a new show. And we'll see you next episode, same PP time, same poo-poo channel.